Professor Coomer here. We're talking about brainstorming. Okay, Essay 3, brainstorming. So how am I going to brainstorm for Essay 3? Well, if you've seen the previous video, if you've been paying attention in class, you're going to understand that instead of brainstorming about things that I'm not inventing new ideas that I'm going to bring up. This invention process is focused on ideas about what I'm going to take from this essay or this article that I was required to read. What will I comment on? Okay, so let's suppose you're going to brainstorm. You're going to possibly, you're getting into the part of your college career where it's more than one list. At this point, you probably have done more than one list, okay? But what are some topics that you believe that you're going to respond to? Now, it's going to be different depending on what essay you are going to be talking about, okay? What essay are you going to analyze? You need to figure that out first. But once you know which essay you're going to analyze, you need to be saying, okay, this is a point that I'm going to need to address. The author made the claim that, let's suppose we're talking about environmentalism or something. Maybe the author makes the claim that that solar panels should be installed on every house in the country. And that author made this claim, okay? Well, I would go on to list a few other things that the author said to support that claim. How did the author prove that point? Okay, it's one thing for me to tell a person, hey, you should do something. It's another thing for me to say why, okay? Because if I come up to you and I say, hey, you know what? You should use this other kind of toothpaste that you're not using. You'd be like, okay, would you, hopefully you wouldn't just say, okay, I'll do that, I'll just do that. You would need a reason why. And you have to understand that this author, when you're reading this essay that this author wrote, the author should be able to provide reasons why. And so that's what you're going to say. Okay, what are some reasons that the author brought up? In a way, of course, we've already talked about annotation in your class at this point. In a way, this is a way, what we're doing here when we brainstorm, cluster, or free write, we are putting down on paper the things that we're going to respond to, the things that we're going to comment on, okay? The highlights, if you will, okay? Going with in a previous video, I talked about, whenever you're doing an analysis, it's like you're a commentator for a sporting event. You're not getting involved, you're not cheering for one side or another, you're just commenting on how the athletes are performing. In the same way, you're going to come up with a highlight reel. Okay, what are the things that the main points that the author brought up? What are the main arguments? What kind of evidence does the audience use, or not the audience but the author? Okay, so let's think about that. These are the things that you should be brainstorming on. Reasons. Okay. First of all, first and foremost, you should be able to identify the argument. And what does that mean? If you can identify the argument. So basically, what I mean by that is, what is the author trying to prove? What is the author's argument? You should know that. And then these reasons are reasons why the argument is correct. Okay, reasons that, for instance, you should buy this new kind of toothpaste. Okay, that's the main argument. Here are the reasons. Well, 9 out of 10 dentists agree that it's the best toothpaste. Okay, that's a reason. Okay, maybe another reason is that this new kind of toothpaste it costs less than other kinds of toothpaste. Okay, that's another reason. Maybe it's made out of some new space age technology that every time you use it, you save a unicorn. I don't know. There's reasons, right? There are reasons why. Now, can you prove that those reasons are good reasons? Okay, so we've got reasons, that we've got a bunch of reasons. But let's suppose this one reason, 9 out of 10 dentists agree. Tell me about that. Explain that. That's what you should be asking the author to do. If the author just says, hey, this is a reason, okay, cool. Now, why is that a good reason? Does the author explain it? Or does the author just say, hey, this is a reason, then just keep moving on? You need to understand that the author, just like you're not allowed to make huge sweeping assumptions, neither is the author. If the author says this is a reason and doesn't fully explain it and just expects the audience to say, oh yeah, sure, I totally understand that. If it's not fully explained, then you need to say, okay, in your essay, eventually you'll be talking about how the author should have explained this better. Okay? Same way, you could do the same thing with clustering. And by this point, I assume you understand how all of these go together. So for clustering, this would be, you would need to ID the argument. And you would have reason number one here. You know, again, if we're talking about the toothpaste argument, you know, you should buy this new kind of toothpaste. Reason number one is 9 out of 10 dentists agree. Now, how would I go into that? So maybe I would talk about the study, okay? Why did 9 out of 10 dentists agree? This should be somewhat explained. Maybe there's another detail, right? Other details that the author uses to back up reason one. Same with reason two, and so on and so forth, okay? Free writing is completely okay to do here too. If you're free writing, remember you're just telling us in just a stream of thought, different things that you feel like this author that I've assigned you 2 readings, and you got to choose one or the other to analyze. You're not responding, you're analyzing. And so if you're free writing, you're just going to stream of conscious write about the same things. This author brings up, this is the main argument. This author says that these are good reasons, and this author explains this reason really well. But this reason isn't very well explained. Okay, again, we're just commenting on how the author did. You're not getting involved in the argument. Okay? So, that is the pre-writing section. Go ahead and get started working on your own. Spend some time with this. Okay? We're in the second part of the semester. The easy essays are over. These essays count for 150 points. Okay? 15% of your grade is just the essay when you hand it in. So take your time. Now is not the time to start speeding up. Now is the time to slow down, really think it through, read the essay, annotate the essay. If you haven't done those things yet, do it. Make sure you've completely understood everything that the author is trying to say. Once you do that, then you're ready to really think about, okay, what's the main argument? What are the main points that the author brings up? And why does that author believe that I should believe those main points? Okay? All right, so get to it.